45. There goes Davis. Oh my God! Davis is going to run it all the way back. Auburn's going to win the football game. Auburn's going to win the football game. He ran the missed field goal back. He ran it back 109 yards. They're not going to keep him off the field tonight. Holy cow! Oh my God! Auburn wins. Auburn has won the Iron Bowl. Auburn has won the Iron Bowl in the most unbelievable fashion you will ever see.
Ooh, welcome in everyone to a brand new edition of the Dream Wager, episode 359. We are live from Maryland. I am your host, D-Rock. Elvis, brand new braids, kid. How you feeling today?
Still, I said I was going to do it. If I'm going to Baltimore for the playoff game and honor CJ, honor Lamar,
MVP,
honor of Proposition Joe, if you know, The Wire, I'm going to get my braids done, Dill. So, I had a lot of doubters saying, oh, your hair, my shit braided right now, and I'm going to Baltimore. Catch me there. See how I'm feeling. Because I'm telling you right now that I'm feeling like a whole new guy. But
feedback good?
To be honest, a little more painful than I expected to be. So I could see why you females be, in pain while doing your hair. But to be honest, they're totally worth it. And I definitely will do it again when they're a little longer. But for now, this is for CJ. This is for Lamar. I'm going to Baltimore with fresh braids. They're not that fresh, to be honest. But
how was the process? And did you get good feedback? Women like it? Men like it? What are we talking here?
I have a friend, whatever. She said, surprising your boy looking cute or whatever. I'm looking good.
Whatever.
Even my hating ass sister was like, not for nothing, you looking Dominican as hell, but it's looking good at you. And then I showed my mom. My mom was like, boy, you looking like your father. But you are looking good. I said, I know. I already know this. That's why I'm asking. So,
man.
they'll be looking a little better, Dill, if my do-rag ain't fall off while I was sleeping. But to be honest.
Oh, you got the waves like that?
Nah. I put the braids and then I put the wave cap to compress it. So, now it's a little like you got a little hair sticking out. I'm looking like Jim Jones in 07.
I think you might want to do that because it's going to be cold at the bank, kid.
It don't matter. Like I said, I'm on different time. This ain't regular E. I'm going to be E for the show. But this ain't Elvis now. So
what are you going to go by?
I don't know. Joe. I kind of want to stick with Jones because I feel like a fat Jim Jones in 06. I just need a Pele. But other than that, Dill, I'm feeling good. I'm excited for today. I'm excited for this weekend of playoff football, Dill. Let's talk about it.
Let's go. We got an awesome episode for you guys today. We'll recap what happened in the week. Some coaching changes. Tomlin comes back. New OC hopefully in Chicago. And then we'll get into the divisional round picks: Texans, Ravens, Packers, 49ers, Bucks, Lions, Chiefs, Bills, and I got a player or two in the NBA for the weekend as well. But okay, let's start in the NFL. We talked about, maybe him walking away after the press conference. He was kind of upset about everything, but Tomlin will be back. He said he has one more year on his contract. He also said that he plans to bring back Kenny Pickett. He will be QB1, but there will be competition. Mason Rudolph. Don't know about Mitch Trubisky, but there definitely will be competition. Thoughts on that and thought about the QB competition in Pittsburgh?
To be honest, Dill, I had a feeling he will be back just because, Mike Tomlin is an honorable man. The Rooney family, the owners of the Pittsburgh Steelers, has been, real good and great with him. They have an awesome relationship. So I knew Mike Tomlin was going to honor and finish his contract, And, to go by when he walked away in the post-game press conference, it's a time and place. That team is hurting. He's hurting personally. You don't think he wanted to advance, and you're over here asking him about his contract situation, not about what just happened in the game or what he could do better moving forward to better the team. So I understand why you walked off, Dill. It is what it is. But Mike Tomlin will be back. He will honor his contract like a true man he is. And then, Dill, to be honest, forget Mitchell Trubisky, but between Kenny Pickett and I don't think he should just be granted a QB1 label, you could say.
Yeah.
I think Mason Rudolph, the last 4 or 5 games of the season definitely made a case that he deserves to at least get a shot at the starting position. So if I'm going right into camp, right after the draft, I'm letting Kenny Pickett and Mason Rudolph both get QB1 snaps. I want to have a quarterback duel. And me personally, if I'm Mike Tomlin, I'm going to stir it up a little bit. I'm going to see if, guys like, Kirk Cousins available, Jameis Winston is available, Cooper Rush from Dallas. He saw that 4-1 stretch he had the year prior. So there's definitely some backups. I think Jake Browning, you saw how well he did in
Joe
the division.
Flacco.
Joe Flacco. No, I'm dead serious.
Honestly.
I laughed. But Joe Flacco, hey, you get him an offensive line, you get him some weapons, he could throw for 300 yards a game. We just witnessed it. So, still, if I'm Mike Tomlin, I'm definitely gonna make Mason Rudolph and Kenny Pickett compete for QB1. But I'm also looking on the outside if I could get somebody like a Kirk Cousins or somebody like that to just take off with the role and possibly lead us back into the playoffs, back into the division title, maybe even championship contenders. Because with that defense, the way he's lined up right now, you get a Kirk Cousins in there, Dill. I think they're at least be top 5 in odds to win the Super Bowl next season.
I think Mason Rudolph definitely earned his spot to compete for that backup role, or even QB1. Until they bring someone. QB1. Yeah. And speaking about Kirk Cousins, interesting, he came out and said, if I get an opportunity to play with the GOAT, meaning Bill Belichick in Atlanta, that all they need is if they get Kirk Cousins and Bill Belichick, that defense was good. They got playmakers. That's the route I think is gonna go down. But
we saw, Atlanta Falcons just had their second interview with the GOAT, Bill Belichick, and to be honest, he said that he wants to go somewhere that's like a fixer-upper. Not a fixer-upper, but, young talent that's, they have the potential to do something great. Something like Tom Brady did with Tampa. Not to, go too far, but Bill Belichick wants to grab an underachieving team. And it's ironic because the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were 7-9 before Brady went. And the Falcons are 7-9. Same division. Very similar. Very similar. Got loaded young talent. You got Kyle Pitts. You got Drake London. You got Bijan Robinson. You got weapons there. You get Kirk. You get Ken Folk Kirk. Oh, wait. The defense, you have Bill Belichick managing the defense. They're going to average less than 20 points a game. We're going to do that. Kirk Cousins is going to swing it. He can get
that division's up for grabs.
That division's up for grabs. Baker probably gets a long-term deal. But the Saints, who knows? But Atlanta's definitely live to win the division for the next 5 years. I'm going to say 3 to 5 if Kirk Cousins commits. Because, Kirk Cousins, he might win one and just set it off. Who knows?
Yeah, exactly. Especially with Bill Belichick.
Exactly. In the last 7 years, he's the only player to get guaranteed money, fully guaranteed money the last 7 years. So the pockets are right. It's just, will Bill Belichick choose Atlanta? Will Kirk Cousins follow and choose Atlanta? That's the story.
We got some news. Speaking of the NFC North Division, where Kirk Cousins plays in Minnesota right now, the Bears, they're going to interview, if they decide to get Caleb Williams, they're going to interview Cliff Kingsbury for that offensive coordinator job. He has a strong relationship with Caleb Williams dating back to Oklahoma, then going to USC. He was a head coach in the NFL already with the Cardinals. You like this move if they decide not to stick around with Justin Fields and they do go the Caleb Williams route? Honestly, I can't blame him. It's Caleb Williams. Do you like them bringing along? He's only known one guy. No matter where he's gone, Oklahoma, USC, now he's going to follow him to the pros. Do you like this pairing up situation?
Do I like it? No, Dill. But to be honest, can we see success with Caleb Williams and Caleb Kingsbury? I forgot his name already.
Cliff
Kingsbury. Yes, to be honest, though. Do I love the move? No, but to be honest, can they, make some noise? Can they, can Caleb Williams be successful? Does it help having a familiar voice in your ear than somebody new, learning a new system? It's gonna be a very similar offense to what we ran with him earlier. So, to be honest, though, I think for his rookie year, first couple of seasons in the league, it makes sense. You don't want to complicate him. You want him to come in, start right away into a familiar offense he already knows. So to me, it works. It makes sense. Do I love the hire personally? No, I think there's better offensive coordinators available, in my opinion. But they have a connection. They got a history done. They were successful in the pro in the college level. Maybe that could transfer to the NFL level.
Yeah, we'll see. I only think they do that if they wind up drafting Caleb Williams. If they don't, I don't think there's any reason to. There's other offensive coordinators out there that's a little better, in my opinion, like you said. Mike Vrabel, another hot name on the market. He interviewed for the Chargers job, the head coaching job. He's also interviewed for the Falcons. I think the Falcons would love to have him if they strike out with Belichick. And the Seahawks have also spoken to Vrabel as well. Out of those three teams, what do you think the best fit for Mike Vrabel would be?
To be honest, I think it's Seattle. Like out of the three teams, it has, to my personal opinion, Seattle, just because, I think him and Pete Carroll are similar minds, or similar coaching styles. So it wouldn't be a dramatic, shift / change bringing in Mike Vrabel, because I feel like he's perfect for that team and city. They're defensive minded first team. They have young pieces on defensive side, a veteran at the linebacker position, and Bobby Wagner, who still got some life left. Geno Smith, who's better, which he had in Tennessee. Let's just be honest. A young running game, and Kenneth Walker, the third. The third. I like it. To me, that's the best fit. The Chargers job, Dill, to be honest, Chargers job might be the best job on the market, to be honest, just because you have a borderline, I'm going to say top 10 quarterback in Justin Herbert and a pretty good defense when healthy. So I'm going to say between the Chargers and Seattle, but if just from a football perspective, I think Seattle would be the best fit for Mike Vrabel.
Yeah, I think Seattle kind of fits him, but the best job on the market, I would say, is the Chargers. Going back to school, unfortunately, you got rid of your guy. Bill O'Brien is stepping down as OC, and he'll become the OC at the Ohio State.
How you feel about that? You should ask yourself how you feel about that. I feel great. A negative turned into a positive for the Patriots.
Oh, man, I don't know. This guy's been everywhere. He was the head coach of Houston back in the day. He was the head coach at Penn State, back to Belichick, and now going back to school. They can't make up his mind. I don't know, man. I honestly really don't. That just says, is Ryan Day out? Like, because he's the head coach, but he's also the play caller as well. So
I think
I
he's
really
still be
don't
the
know.
head coach, but he just probably, it was too much responsibility for him, Dill. Maybe it was too much of a burden on him. Maybe he couldn't just focus on doing certain things while he also had to control the offense. So maybe it's just something. I think it'll help out. At the end of the day, if Bill O'Brien's just calling from his play sheet, not Bill O'Brien's play sheet, I think it'll be fine. Because I think Bill O'Brien knows scenarios. It's not like he's not a winner. He's just not a great head coach. He's not a great OC. He's good, just not great. You put him in the right system, right players around, you'll be pretty damn good, just not great.
Max Crosby's going to be happy. Raiders, they are working to finalize the deal. He deserved it. Antonio Pierce as the Raiders' new head coach. He went 5-4 in the 9 games, including a 3-1 in the division. A lot of players came out into support saying, hey, we won AP. He really resonates with the guys. And, he took over through the end of the season. The Raiders led the NFL in fewest points per game, 16, recorded the most offensive touchdowns, 4, and had the fewest penalties, 31, while third in sacks with 30. They outscored their opponents in that span 206 to 144. So that tells me they're disciplined, their attention to detail, and they're executing the game plan. This is a well-coached team, and it'd be really interesting to see what a full season of AP really was in Las Vegas.
Yeah, Dill, definitely got the right man for the job. Perfect fit. He was a long-time Raiders fan as a kid. He grew up in Oakland, Dill, and we saw the team respond, especially on the defensive side of the ball, Dill. Max Crosby said, he came out publicly and said, if Antonio Pierce ain't my head coach, I will request a trade. So he couldn't be any more.
I mean, to be honest, though, like he's had 3 head coaches in 3 years. Like he needs some stability.
No, I agree. And definitely, Dill, this is the first time he's having a defensive head coach. John Gruden, offensive mind. Josh McDaniels, offensive mind. So the fact that he gets Antonio Pierce, who likes his side of the ball and who's going to scheme to make him the best player he can be, he enjoyed that. Trust me, we saw the performance. He's a defensive player of the year candidate once again. But the one thing we can honestly say is we saw the defensive intensity increase by 1 million as soon as Antonio Pierce took over. Yeah. We saw them have one of the worst performances in franchise history. They come back, set a franchise record, most points ever scored. I think they scored 62 against the Chargers or something, 63. And then they pitched a couple shutouts. Still, multiple games with multiple turnovers. They beat the Chiefs. First time in over 20 years they beat the Chiefs in Kansas City. So this team just looked new, looked better, and to be honest, completely different team than when we saw the first 8 weeks of the season compared to the last 9.
And some of the guys that came out, like you said, Max Crosby, he came out, quote, there are only 32 head coaches in the world, so you have to find a leader of men. And when you have one of them in the building, I don't know why you would let them go. Josh Jacobs with AP, I am definitely 100% in. However it looks, whatever it takes. Devontae Adams, this isn't good for me because I want Devontae Adams, but he goes, he embodies what it means to be a Raider and the mentality, that swag, and all it takes to endorse the things that he believes in. So you got not just
stars,
saying this. So I'm glad AP got the job. He definitely deserved it, and hopefully they have some stability in Las Vegas. And ESPN, low key, they've become kind of like the training ground to become head coaches. Bill Parcells, Herm Edwards, Kevin O'Connell, Minnesota, Josh Gruden, Jeff Saturday for a second, and now Antonio Pierce. So I thought that was very interesting. But yeah, also Chargers, they interviewed Dan Quinn for their head coaching job. You like that?
Dale, to be honest, Dan Quinn, he's a good defensive mind. Dale, would he be a good head coach? Dale, at the end of the day, he did coach a team to the Super Bowl. You know, his defense did let up a 28-3 comeback though. So, if I'm honest, we just saw Dan Quinn give up 20, because one was a pick six, 20 first half points against the Green Bay Packers, the youngest team in the NFL, and then also let up 48 points, basically. I'm going to say 41 total points on the defensive side of the ball. That was his last outing with I'm going to be honest, with a more talented defense than what the Chargers have right now in the Dallas Cowboys. So, will Dan Quinn be a good coaching hire? Yes. But I think he's a better DC than head coach, in my opinion. If you want to give him a head job, by all means, I think he'll be a great head coach. But personally, I just think Dan Quinn deserves to be in the suite because he's an excellent. He's not just he's one of the best DCs in the league. That's why he gets paid like a head coach. He's the highest paid defensive coordinator in the league.
And then lastly, sad news yesterday. Sports Illustrated, one of the best magazines in coverage of sports since I grew up, basically closed down. They had massive layoffs yesterday, basically putting a fucking close on a really good chapter. It was a great institution, covered sports, legends of the sport, so much great work. So horrible day. What's your favorite Sports Illustrated cover? Do you have one?
To be honest, Dale, I'm pretty sure it was Manny Ramirez and David Ortiz in 2005. I'm not sure, Dale. I don't remember. This is all top of my head, people.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure if it was Sports. I'm pretty sure it was Sports Illustrated, Dale. But it was Manny Ramirez and Big Bobby together. I think that was dope. To be honest, there's so many of them. I just can't get it from the top of my mind, Dale. But I remember as a kid, before all this technology, before the internet, before all that, going to the a ShopRite or going to the store and seeing all the magazine wall. Like, there's no such thing as a magazine wall anymore, Dale. But I remember as a kid, I remember seeing the Sports Illustrated things, and I wanted to just read it, look at it, because my mom would never buy them. But I would just skim through it while she's shopping, So it was kind of like an old thing. It was sad to see it go, but things like that are just dying nowadays. Everything is on your phone.
It's sad.
Yeah,
though.
nobody's about to buy a Sports Illustrated magazine. It ain't 2005 no more. It's just a damn shame. So overall, great company throughout the years, but it's just a shame that technology is catching up, and some of these older companies that were great for many years are just not going to last.
There was the one I remember for Boston was the Boston Strong after the bombing, when everyone usually came together. I was like, oh, that's legendary. I have the one framed up in the studio, Tiger Woods, when he came back and won the Masters. I'll never forget that in 2019. The 1980 Winter Olympics, when you believe in miracles, when we knocked off the Soviets.
The Michael Phelps one.
Oh, there's so many. Shout out Towson, Maryland.
Yeah, Michael Phelps was dope too.
There's so many. When the Cubs broke the curse in 2016. The Chosen One with LeBron when he was in St. Vincent. There's so many. The Philly Special, Muhammad Ali. There's the Zeke where they won the national championship. That's a little biased for me, but there's so many. One, the Catch, the Giants, David Tyree.
Don't remind me.
I know, I'm sorry, but even Brady, the GOAT, when he won his last one, when he says goodbye, when they do like a whole, I think they did like 15 to 20 pages of his career in New England, and then they did the next one when he won in Tampa Bay. There's so many. I'm so sad, honestly.
No, it's a bad day in sports, sad day. But overall, though, we just gotta look back and be thankful for the, the different eras. It's crazy how.
I'm glad I was alive for that.
Kids these days don't know what a sports industry magazine is like.
That's so sad.
Kids these days never seen a whole aisle, well, at least half an aisle, straight magazines. Like I don't know, Dale. It's just times is changing, and we just gotta adapt. That's all.
Yeah. And if you don't adapt, then what happens? Get left behind. Exactly. Let's get into these picks. Before we do that, we are brought to you each and every episode by Viva Tequila Seltzer, the most refreshing hard seltzer on the market, hands down. It's no wonder why Viva was voted #1 hard seltzer in the world by San Francisco World Spirit Competition. With only 88 calories, 0 carbs, 0 sugar, and a light 4.5 ABV, Viva is the perfect drink for your post-game celebrations, as it was created with that active lifestyle in mind. We flavor tequila seltzer because flavor is the spice of life, and we like our drinks with just a kick, just like how we like our lives. Whether it's Huckleberry playing around a golf, no golf today, it's fucking snowing out, or an elderberry pre-gaming for Ravens Texans, it doesn't matter. Our favorites pair perfectly with that artisanal Blanca tequila for that subtle and refreshing drink. Our belief here at the Dream Wager and at Viva is to live long, live well, and live it up. All right, E, let's get to it. Let's get to these divisional round picks. We will start with the first game, the game that we will be at. The Baltimore Ravens hosting the Houston Texans. Ravens laying 9.5 at home. -425 on the money line. Houston Texans +9.5, +330 on the money line. Over unders at 43.5. Elvis, you got the braids. I'll let you go first. What do you got, kid?
Still, week 1, we saw the Houston Texans, young Houston Texans. G.G. Stroud making his first career start. D'Amico Ryans making his first coaching start, Dill. And the team, to be honest, didn't look that good. Baltimore was a little sluggish at first, but laid it on. Dill, I'll tell you one thing. This is going to be a totally different matchup from week 1. This is a totally different team, Dill. First of all, we're going to be in the building, so I'm just excited for this matchup. It's going to be
first time at the bank.
Yeah, first time at the bank. Hopefully, it's a great matchup. I personally want a shootout, but personally, Dill, realistically, I see a close game, Dill. Give me the Texans +9.5. I just don't see Baltimore. I don't get me wrong. It's possible. I just don't think it's going to happen, Dill. I think Baltimore possibly wins this game 27-23. They'll teach a Stroud. I think he's gonna just be so great in multiple drives in this game. They're gonna put up points. Hey, they might even have a lead at one point in this game. Dill, I just don't see CJ Stroud just falling off a cliff. Dill, what we saw last week was just flat out special. What we saw throughout this season was just flat out amazing. Nobody expected this from this kid, and to be honest, Dill, I understand Baltimore defense is basically the best defense in football. I understand they have a week and a half off. I understand Mark Andrews is back, but
he's not.
Oh, he's not.
No, he's out for the game, but he was practicing. Hopefully, he'll be ready for next week.
Might not be no next week, though. That's the problem. Still, I just have a feeling the Texans are going to be a little more prepared for this game than the Ravens, and that's hard for me to believe. I'm gonna be honest. That's hard for me to believe, but. People, can we all agree that the Texans played damn near a perfect game last week? They executed the game plan to perfection. If they're 80% of what they were last week, they win in this game. So give me the Texans +9.5 on a nice one, on a close one, Dylan. To be honest, I think it's something worth sprinkling on the money line, Dylan. And then I have a player prop. On the Baltimore side, though, I think this kid is going to have a great game. I don't think the cold will affect him. He went to school, guess where? Boston College. Still, give me Zay Flowers over 50.5 receiving yards in his first playoff game. We saw the rookies last week, Rashid Rice, Puka Nakua, have tremendous games in their first career start as rookies. I think Zay Flowers follows this up. I'm not saying he's going for a $180 and a couple touchdowns, people. But all I'm saying is he's going to easily go over this 50.5 number. Give me the over. Give me the plus 9.5.
Yeah, I couldn't be on more on the other side. I think honestly, when have we seen the Ravens not be prepared? John Harbaugh is one of the best coaches at that. He's a leader of men, and it sucks to say, but so is his brother. He's a winner wherever he goes, he wins, and so does John Harbaugh. I just think they will be prepared. There might be a little rust. Maybe the first two, 3 drives will go 3 and out, but this defense is too elite. I think that what the game's going to come down to is, can CJ Stroud make these big time plays against this defense? If he can, and Nico Collins gets loose, they're going to be in this game. I don't know if he can make those big plays. And not to say he can't. I just think this defense is that much better than he's versed, especially last week. So I think this game is going to get I see blowout, if I'm being honest. I think the game. I took him in the first half -5.5. I laid the 9.5 at home. And since Mark Andrews is out, I took Isaiah Likely over 36.5 receiving yards. We just saw David Njoku carve up this defense last week. Texans, their defense is 27th in the league against tight ends. No Mark Andrews. He should get plenty of volume and reps today. At home, I think Likely has a big game. So I'm going to go over there. I laid the 5.5 with the Ravens in the first half. And I just think this D-line and these linebackers, Roquan Smith, Patrick Queen, this D-line, Clowney, he gets pressured. The whole defense is just going to be swarming, moving sideline to sideline. Honestly, I know you're rooting for an over, but I would actually put under. I think both of these teams are going to be stingy for points. So
I just personally want to see a shootout.
Yeah, I know.
Like I got 27-23. I don't even know if that's the over or not. That's what, 50 points?
Yeah. 49, but yeah. So I'm on the Ravens, you're on the Texans. That's crazy. First time at the bank and you're taking the Texans.
I said Baltimore's winning the game. Damn. Yeah.
You just want to see a close game.
I want to see I hope it's 42-35. But realistically, I'll take 27-23. I'll take 27-23.
All right. Let's go to the Saturday night game. It's the 49ers hosting the Green Bay Packers. 49ers opened up around a 9.5 point favor, up to double digits, laying 10 at home, -470 on the money line, +10 for Jordan Love and the Packers, +360 on the money line. Over under is at 50. I fucking love the over in this game. I think that's one of my favorite plays of the weekend. You want to talk about points? I think points are going to be scored here. I don't really think the defense for the 49ers is all that good, if I'm being honest. If you could stop the run for them, I think you'll be able to really score some points on this defense. The secondary isn't as good as a lot of people think, and I think they're susceptible, and I know they're going to be able to score. So I actually really like the over. I'll lay the 10-2. I think 49ers kind of blow them out. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. And I also like Brock Purdy under 21.5 pass completion. So he did break the Niners single-season passing yards record, but despite all that, Purdy's been under this number in 13 games this season. So I think the 49ers, they want to control this game on the ground. And I'm basically fading Brock Purdy here. So under 21.5 pass completions for Mr. Brock Purdy. And then maybe put him in your parlay, CMC anytime touchdowns. There's only been 3 games this season where CMC didn't find the end zone. Packers, they allowed 13 rushing touchdowns this season. And on the road, they allow 1.1 more touchdowns on the road than at home. 15 of CMC's 21 touchdowns have come in the first half. So I do think he gets in the end zone early, maybe first, second, or third drive. In his 4 career playoff games, CMC scored a touchdown in every one of those games. So it's -225 for a reason. Excuse me, anytime touchdown. So maybe just put him in one of your parlays.
Still, To be honest, I love the Brock Purdy under just because the only way I see him going over that number is they're playing from behind. And I
Yeah.
don't see that happening. Maybe the first drive if Green Bay scores, though, but I don't see the 49ers having just to drop back and throw the ball a lot of times. So I do agree with that one, Dale. To be honest, I'm totally different from you, Dale. I don't see a blowout. I ended up, teasing them up, Dale. So I teased Green Bay up to plus 16, Dale. To be honest, I highly doubt they even. I think they cover the 10. I don't think Green Bay, the 49ers beat this team. If they do win, it's going to be like a 7 or 10 max. They could definitely push on the 10, Dill. I'm going to lean Aaron Jones over 67.5 rushing yards still. He has, I think 4 straight games now. Ever since coming back from injury, he's been over 100 yards. We saw what he did last week in Dallas. I highly doubt he has a performance like that again, Dill. But to go over 67.5 rushing yards, though, I think that's very doable. It's going to be a nice day in California and San Francisco. So I think Aaron Jones could possibly have a pretty good day as well. Maybe a touchdown is too. But I just don't think the 49ers and Brock Purdy are just going to, go out there and win this game by a couple touchdowns. I just don't see it happening. Yeah. I expect to be a little rusty, not too much still. But at the end of the day, one thing I'm going to say, and I said it last episode, Dill, you turn Brock Purdy over one time, just one time, he could melt down. He could wait. So if I'm Green Bay, I'm gonna be aggressive, especially in the first quarter. I'm pressing press man. I'm blitzing. I'm sending 5 every time. I need him to turn the ball over one time, and we seen him not just once, multiple times this season, just get out of control after throwing the first interception. So if I'm Green Bay, that's my first thing. We need to take over the ball. So give me Green Bay, tease them up to plus 16. That's my only official play. And I'll lean Aaron Jones over 67.5, just 4 straight games over 100 yards.
All right, let's go to Sunday. Detroit Lions hosting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Lions laying 6 at home, minus 270 on the money line, plus 6 for the Bucks, plus 220 on the money line. Over under is at 49.5. Man, the number opened up at 7. If it was still there, I might have taken that with the Bucks. But as the week went on, the more I thought about this game, this one was one of the hardest games to cap, I thought, in my opinion. I was going to take him, but as the week went on, I just think the Lions blow the Bucks out, if I'm being honest. I would actually lay the points here at home. Love your call on the under from Wednesday. I think this is a low-scoring game, but I just think the Bucks wind up blowing. I think they're going to win up front. They're the tougher team, and Tampa Bay's defense doesn't travel on the road. So I think Baker, they had a good run. They won the division. They won the wild card game. But I think it stops here. I think the Lions are just a better team. Props, maybe target Chris Godwin in the slot. The Lions defense have really bad problems covering the guy in the slot all year. I got 2 on Detroit side, though. I'm on Rice St. Brown over 89.5 receiving yards. We got there last week on this prop. We're going to go right back there. We got over this prop last week with Goff only throwing the ball 27 times. So this game should be much different. Tampa's defense, like I said, on the road isn't good. They're allowing 36 pass attempts per game on the road, 6th most, 179 wide receiver yards, 4th most. Amon-Ra St. Brown has gone over this number in 8 of 9 home games this season. And Devontae Adams last week just torched them last week. So I think it has another big game. So let's go right back to the over there, over 89.5 receiving yards. And another wide receiver, Josh Reynolds, over 39.5 receiving yards. He's been great at home this season, 7 targets in back-to-back home games. He's gone over this number in the last 3 home games of the season. So he also, back in the day, back earlier in the season, he had 50 receiving yards against Tampa Bay. So I think he has another big game here. So give me Amon-Ra St. Brown over and Josh Reynolds over. What do you got, kid?
Yeah, I like the Josh Reynolds ones. I also lean his overs at 39.5. I think he goes over this number. You saw the targets he got last week. He was very productive. I think it'll be the same as well, Dill. And I'm going to just stay with the under, Dill. Give me the under 49 in the game, Dill. I'm going to give Baker his credit before I say this. Baker damn near played a perfect game last week. He was over 30 completions, over 330 passing yards, couple of touchdowns through the air, Dill. Would have had more if Mike Evans had dropped one on the right sideline, which was a dime, by the way. I just don't see him able to duplicate that performance, especially on the road in Detroit, Dale. I just don't see it. And to be honest, I don't see Jared Goff being as well as he played last week either. I think Tampa could possibly turn him over. I do think the lines on the right side in this case still, but I'm not gonna lay the 6. If anything, I'll lean the plus 6.5. But I'm also on with you, Dale. This game can possibly be a blowout if Baker doesn't go out there and put up points. We saw them in multiple occasions throughout the season just lay eggs. Only score 10 points, 9 points, 14 points. We know Detroit's going to put up 20 to 30. So I just don't see the Tampa Bay's offense keeping up with Detroit. And to be honest, I think Detroit offense will slow down a little bit because Tampa's is a pretty good defense, not for none. So give me the under 49.5. I'll lean David Montgomery anytime touchdown at minus 105, and Reynolds over 39.5. Just because he played so big and great last week, I think Tampa's attention is going to be on Sam Laporta and Amon St. Brown mostly.
Sunday Night Football, we will go to Orchard Park. They need help shoveling again. Bills laying 2.5 at home against the Chiefs. Minus 148 on the money line, plus 2.5 for Patrick Mahomes, plus 124 on the money line. Over under is at 4.5. I said I was leaning with them on Wednesday. I'll take the points. I put them in a teaser. And I teased Detroit down as well. I just think I would also lean them on the money line. I just think the Chiefs find a way to win. I think we saw last week they finally were able to put a full game together. We've never really had to worry about their defense. Their defense has been stout all season. It was the offense. Can they find it? Rashid Rice has really developed into their number one receiver. I think Travis Kelce has a nice big bounce back game. He had a couple of drops. He could have even had a bigger game. Isaiah Pacheco. I think with Patrick Mahomes, I think they find a way to win. I trust them more than I do the Buffalo Bills. Their injury, they lost another linebacker last week, so I just think they're hurt and they're running into a really good team right now. So I am going to take the Chiefs in a teaser up to 8.5. Sprinkle a little on the money line. I think they are live, and we'll go right back to the well with this one, kid. Isaiah Pacheco over 14.5 rush attempts. We've hit this throughout the year and the playoffs. He's been over this in the last 6 of 7 games. They're going to run the ball. Bills defense, they're banged up. They lost another linebacker last week. I think he has another big game. Give me Isaiah Pacheco over 14.5 rush attempts.
Dill, in this matchup, Dill, I'm with you. I think the key word in your breakdown, Dill, was trust. And to be honest, I trust Patrick Mahomes a little more than Josh Allen. I trust the defense of the Chiefs a little more than Buffalo's, Dill, to be honest. This is going to be a great matchup, to be honest. I ended up teasing this Kansas City up. Get them to plus 8.5. There's no way. If they lose, they're not losing more than a touchdown. I'll tell you that right now. So tease the Chiefs up to 8.5. I love that play. Dill, my 2 official plays for except the teaser, my 2 official props in this game will be, give me Patrick Mahomes over 27.5 rushing yards, Dill. For some reason, Patrick Mahomes just runs crazy come playoff time, Dill. He knows at the end of the day, the weapons ain't the best weapons he ever had, and he knows, especially man coverage, he could chew him up for 10, 15 yards at a time, and he's done this successfully throughout his playoff career, Dill. So give me Patrick Mahomes over 27.5 receiving yards, Dill, and give me the true number one, Dill. He moved up to me. He doing more damage than Travis Kelce. Let's just be honest. Give me Rashid Rice over 60.5 receiving yards. It's a little juice too at minus 128 for a reason, people. This guy in his first career playoff start had 8 catches, 130 yards with a touchdown. I'm not saying he's going for 130 in a touchdown, people, but he definitely will be over 60.5 receiving yards for this game. Tease up the Chiefs. Give me Mahomes over rushing. Give me Rashid Rice over receiving yards. Those are my plays for the game.
Elvis, good luck. I'm trying to get better. 11-2 last week. Let's have another good week in the NFL. Can't wait to see you down here at the bank. But let's transition real quick to the NBA and we'll get up out of here. 8 games on the slate. Shout out you guys. Big win for Brooklyn last night against the Lakers. Guys had a big game. Kevin Durant. Devin Booker went crazy yesterday against the Pelicans. Big win for Denver as well against Boston. And Philly continues to roll against Orlando. Any plays for you today?
Yeah, Dill, let's start right there in Philadelphia. They're a 10.5 point favorite on the road against Charlotte, Dill. They're coming off a back-to-back. You know what? Let's play it safe, people. So I'm going to take my, 2 big dogs in the East. Give me the Philadelphia 76ers. Tease them down to minus 4.5. Bucks, a 13-point favorite against Detroit. Tease them down to minus 7. So 2-way 6-point teasers. Give me the 76ers to -4.5, and then the Bucks to -7 against the Detroit Pistons. And then Atlanta Hawks taking on the Cleveland Cavaliers. Cleveland Cavaliers laying 2.5 on the road. Over under sitting at 230. To be honest, we saw Atlanta Hawks coming off back-to-back game winners by Devontae Murray. They played a game last night. I think that runs out. I think they might get blown out tonight after winning 2 games back-to-back with game winners. And then my last play of the day will be this. It's a shame I probably won't be able to watch this game because we'll be in Baltimore. But OKC taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves. This is going to be a fun, exciting matchup. Can't wait to see them down the road in the playoffs. But give me Minnesota on the money line. I just played it safe. If you want to lay the 3, by all means, but I'm going to take Minnesota Timberwolves -146 on the money line.
Yeah, I'm going to stay in that game. Jalen Williams over 17.5 points at even money plus 100. Jalen Williams has been a dog this season. He's really stepped up to be OKC's number 2, obviously, outside of SGA. And I don't think the Timberwolves have a good matchup for him. Gobert, he's going to be on Chet. Minnesota tried Karl Anthony Towns on him last time, and that didn't work. If they decide to throw him again on him, hey, I'll take it. And I just think he has a really good matchup. I know Minnesota has the best defense in the league, but I just think there's a good matchup for him. 17, he's been over this number 12 of the last 15 games, and 2 of them he had 17 points. So I think over 17.5 points at even money, they're going to need him to step up today to get that win on the road. And then the last one, another player problem. Give me Nikola Vucevic in that Memphis and Chicago game, under 36.5 points, rebounds, and assists. He's been under this number in 9 of 13 games without Zach LaVine this season, only averaging around 33 PPR. So even though the Grizzlies, they are injured, their front court is intact. They're bottom 10 in this matchup for centers. They don't really guard centers well. And I just think this is a great spot for Kobe, DeRozan. I just don't see the matchup without LaVine. So good 36 PAR points, rebounds, and assists. But that's going to do it, E. Anything else? Any last words before you hit the road and take on the bank, kid?
Just shout out to Dan the man and Joey, being in the comments, talking their stuff and whatnot. Dan, I will see you at the bank, so be ready. Hopefully we're warm. It ain't too cold. And Dill, let's just have an exciting day. Unlike you, Dill, I want to see a shootout. Let's go 42-35.
Let's fucking go. Shout out Dan and shout out Joey in the chat. Elvis, that is going to do it for this Saturday edition of the Dream Wager. On behalf of Viva Tequila, myself, we will see you guys on Wednesday. We'll recap the games. We'll take a look at championship round. We'll also have some plays in the NBA as well. So make sure you guys follow us on social media, X and Instagram at the Dream Wager. You guys can find all of our episodes wherever you listen to podcasts. Apple Podcast, Spotify, Stitcher. We go live every Wednesday afternoon and Saturday morning on YouTube, youtube.com/The Dream Wager. Hit that like button, subscribe, rate, give us a review. All that good stuff really helps the show grow tremendously. So be a friend, tell a friend. Everyone have a great few days. Good luck on your wagers. Be safe, be well, and let's go Ravens, baby.